Hey, how's it going? Blue Riser here. So, Smash Rising is ending. But instead of sitting around and saying, oh, well, I'll miss it, because I won't miss Smash Rising. I made it pretty clear on my video that I didn't like it. I wasn't going to stick around and play it and pretend that I liked it. I just didn't like it at all. I had recorded other videos, but in every single one of them, I complained more than I did anything else. So I deleted them, because it wasn't constructive criticism. I wasn't criticizing the game, I was just hating on it. So I never released those videos. But what I really want to talk about is why Smash Rising failed, compared to Smash Tap. There's a similar game out there called JoJo's Diamond Records or something like that, where they also changed from a different style of game, and they changed into this auto gameplay, which people didn't like. There's a video of a Japanese guy talking about it. He even subtitled it in his own video about why people didn't like the game. And let's get to the first and major point of it. Auto games suck. Now, don't get me wrong, auto feature is okay. Having a game that does the work for you is fine, but the game that only does the work for you is not. While you might have some power to influence the gameplay, you are not in 100% control. And this is how I felt since day one. Even back when I criticized Dragon Blaze for being an auto game, I got a lot of dislikes on that video.
So here it is, this is basic gameplay. I'm not doing anything. Now I can take off auto call, but in the end that's kind of boring. I'm just gonna look over when my allies do a lot of the work anyway.
Because it was a game with like 5 million downloads. People liked it, but I never liked it because it was an auto game. Another one, Era of Light, Era of Darkness, I honestly don't remember. Another auto game, looked good, but again, I just couldn't care less for the gameplay. When you can put your phone down and just let it do your work for you, why should you care about the game?
But if there isn't a way to manually control the game and then go into an auto mode, like auto has to be an option.
And at the end of the day, most of these games end up just being number games. Oh, your numbers weren't high enough. It's not so much as, oh, you have to figure out a strategy or this character is better in this situation. Most of it are number games. Now, unfortunately, Smash Rising didn't have what like Dragon Blaze or Era of Light had. It didn't look good either. Performance, character models, special attacks, UI all looked cheap. Now, most likely they made this change in order to cheapen the process of the work on their developers. Taking away active control from the player, like moving the characters, doing attacks, is less work for developers if the characters do it by themselves. Smash Rising most likely was just them trying to minimize cost. I still remember the infamous jumping segments in the game. I'm not sure if it changed, but they look terrible. You know, the characters running from spot A to spot B was pretty pointless too. Nothing interesting was happening in between those segments. You might as well have a fade to black screen. Or new characters or new enemies just showed up in front of the old ones. That's how it could have worked. Now, I'm going to look through some comments because there's really nothing else to talk about. The game was bad. The gacha was unsatisfying because you didn't get characters from it. As much as people might say, oh, you can get all the characters from just grinding, people like gachas that allow you to get the characters. Those are way more successful than the games that allow you just to have the characters right off the bat. People don't really like the gachas that are like, oh, pull for equipment and weapons or whatever, buffs. People like the gachas where the character comes as it is, they got all their stuff to them, everything like that. They don't like the ones where you have to pull for a character and weapons and items, or just weapons and stuff like that, and skill cards. People don't like those too much. There was also a lack of content, at least from what I've seen from going on the Discord, watching Vanta J's videos. Content was dry and they weren't adding new characters frequently. Again, this is most likely to alleviate the cost. There are some pitiful character choices, like Deku in just different colors and All Might with a hat. Like, it's really pitiful. They weren't adding anything interesting. And again, people like Smash Tap because those character cards were the characters. Like Onigashima, Kaminari, and Kirishima, or any of the swimsuit characters. Like, people like the fact that they were new characters and that you could pull for them. Sure, if you could unlock them with a grind, that'd be cool too, but then you have to think about Namco's decision on doing all the characters you could just grind for. That means they'd be giving these characters away for free, which would cost them a lot more because no one's pulling for it, no one's pulling any money for it. But that's it, that's all with that. We're gonna go to Vanta J's End of My Hero Smash Rising video, and we're gonna look through the comments because he has the biggest pull when it comes to this kind of stuff. And this is where we can see the most amount of opinions, at least. By the way, if anyone from the Discord is seeing this, could you send me some of the art? If anything, I've always enjoyed the art of the Smash Tap Rising games. I love the art so much. It's great original art you can see. And I'm not talking about like the screenshots they use from the anime. I'm like talking about like the original stuff. That stuff is really cool. So if you have any of that, please share it with me. You can just DM me. I'm still on the Discord. So let's go ahead and read through some of the comments. He finally said this trash. I'm so proud of him. I mean, it was pretty obvious he didn't like the game. It's pretty obvious a lot of people didn't like the game. They still supported it or still played it, or people stuck around in the Discord and they were consistently complaining about it. So I'm pretty sure most people were just there for the ride, I guess. I don't know if it's true, but the other My Hero game was supposed to be released, got canceled. Did anyone else read or hear that? Because of a certain character's name, My Hero got into a controversy with China and other Asian countries, and the game got canceled. Nothing we can do about it. Bandai says they're working on a new game. It's highly unlikely. At least not for right now. They should, to capitalize on My Hero's popularity. Who knows what kind of game that could be? Maybe that's for another video. Will Smash Tap come back? No. They should have left Smash Tap the same. Would have been so much better. And this is, I think, one of the biggest issues. The community was against Bandai anyway. The major opinion that was said is, I miss Smash Tap, or why did they change it to Rising? Especially from the old community. There's a new community that did pour in over time that only knew about Rising. They knew nothing about Smash Tap. So there were Rising only fans, but it seems like they didn't stick around for very long. The game shutting down is a good thing for My Hero in the long run. They just cut Smash Rising, so they have a whole team not doing anything. Maybe they will put it towards actually making a good mobile game for arguably one of the best, if not best, modern shonen manga. This is good in the long run. Now, I don't believe that they would just use the same people who developed this. If anything, they would probably reach out to a different developer or use a different dev team. I don't think these developers would continue to work on this. Finally, I hated the game, and the devs, it really sucked how they turned Smash Tap, one of my favorite gacha games, to a poor slob of a game that wasn't fun in any part. This is what people feel. Like, I'm sure there are people who liked the game. And it's hard for me to say that factually it was bad, because that's subjective. But if I could lie to you, I would say factually it was bad. I believe that this game closing out was a wake-up call to Bandai Namco, one which unfortunately will be ignored by them, since they clearly proved they do not care for the IP with the discontinuation of the game. It was obviously a risky and bad move for them to shift from Tap to Rising. Unfortunately, one that didn't pay off, because the main reason as why they even shifted in the first place was because Tap was simply not making enough money, as shown by the dupe system they introduced before shifting. I'm not sure how much money Smash Tap was making, but I don't think it was just hugely popular. Regardless, this cost them something. A lot, who knows? Oh, someone confirms it. I'm sorry to tell you, but the Strongest Hero game is cancelled, and they closed the official website. Yeah, that seems obvious. It was a Chinese mobile game anyway. They were overselling it. I'm sorry to be that way, but they were most likely overselling the game. As soon as Smash Rising came out, I played it a day and was done. Smash Tap was so much better than me, which they brought it back. Didn't they say they would shut down Smash Rising because of My Hero getting banned in China? If someone could confirm that, that'd be great. If My Hero is getting banned across other Asian platforms, it's a pretty big hit. With Smash Tap Dive, I moved to Dragalia. The gameplay was basically just Smash Tap with consistent character additions, quality of life updates, collabs, English localization. But what made me feel like Smash Tap's soul never died was the fact that the Japanese voices had a good chunk of the main MHA voice cast. I didn't know that. I didn't know there was a huge crossover. But I mean, Yuki Kaji is pretty popular all around, right? And that's about it for the comments. Honestly, the sentiment is that most people had started the game and ended up stopped playing the game for months, for a good amount of time. I say this all the time, especially about IP-based games. It's like, how far can your fandom carry it before they just stop supporting it in general? Especially if it's a bad game. If it's not good, you shouldn't support it at all. I understand your fandom might say, oh, well, I have to support this, or I have to play this, or whatever. But if it was never good, or you never liked it, don't support it. Even if it's attached to a name brand that you like. It's not worth it. But that's it. That's all for that. Am I sad? Not really. To be a bit morbid, sooner or later all of these games will end. Even the ones I like will end. You kind of have to get to the realization that the time, money that you spend in these things will all evaporate. So I guess pick the ones to enjoy the best and the most out of. That way you don't feel like you've wasted your time.
Wanna put you in a trance, let's party.